Hello, so this is part 3 of Fake Friends. It wasn't supposed to be this many parts, but because the first video, it cut off because it said too much storage. This was like hours ago. Later tonight, I went to a recruiting event and now I'm back home and I did the part 2 and this is part 3. I noticed that in the part 2, I just kept talking about Keisha and I didn't talk about Jelani. I have to talk about Jelani. Jelani is just a character that's just, I feel like everyone's met someone like him. Everyone kind of knows of Keisha too. Keisha was a super good friend, and then I found out she was talking shit about me. That wasn't true. That was really mean what she said. I'm not gonna even repeat it. But yeah, what she said about me. And I know it was true because this particular girl, that was her friend. It wasn't my friend. And we never talked. Like, I didn't sit down and tell her certain things. And I know that in order for her to know certain things, she had to get it from Keisha. So that's how I know that that girl was telling the truth. So when I confronted Keisha, she didn't care. She blocked me, So, when I confronted her, she's like, oh, that was 10 years ago. I'm like, I don't care if it was 100 years ago. The point is that you're telling people false information about me. And you did the same thing that, what my father did. He did the same thing. He told a cousin something that was just evil. Like, that's just some wicked. Not gonna repeat it. I'm not gonna do like other YouTubers. Y'all don't need to know all the tea. I will leave it to imagination, but she said some wicked stuff about me. Wicked, I'm gonna just leave it at that. But I gotta talk about my boy Jelani. So Jelani is a good guy. Jelani doesn't smoke and drink. Jelani's a good all-American boy. I met him in 7th grade, junior high school. He was my boyfriend. He was sweet. He gave me a gold ring that I still wear today for special occasions. So, not the best looking guy, but he was a cool guy. He was open-minded. We went to Brooklyn Academy of Music together. We went to concerts together. We went to the strip clubs together. Like, he's that person I could take, just like how Shannon was. He was like the male version. I could take him anywhere. Clubbing. We went to gay clubs together, lesbian, for Halloween. He was fun. He was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I was at a lonely point in my life, and we did something inappropriate in 2013. I came home from work one day. My son went to Disney World with his father's family. So I gave him a key and I let him stay with me for a week. He was quite offended because he put rose petals all over the bed and stuff. And I didn't know how to receive it because I didn't like him in that way. And I felt bad. And I told him straight up, I said, one day you're going to make a fabulous husband. You're going to make somebody so happy. But I'm not that girl. And he's like, oh, I'll change and da-da-da. I said, no, don't change. There's somebody out there for you. Trust me. I have a homeboy. He don't cook. He don't clean. He play video games. He got a wife. So trust me when I say there's somebody out there for you. And I told him that. There's certain things about his personality I just couldn't get with it. He's judgmental. He's sensitive. I don't like that shit. He's insecure. So in 2013, I didn't have a phone for about a month. And I contacted my friends through Facebook, through Messenger, and I would go to the library and whatever. So he was coming over my house quite a bit, and I used his phone to message people. One particular person was a guy that I used to mess with. So he admitted to me like a year later that he was reading my messages. And I did not think that was right. I don't think that's right. First of all, we were not dating. Second of all, even if we were, I just feel like that's wrong to sit there and read somebody's messages. Like, that's creepy. Like, why not just ask me? Why are you gonna sit there and spy on me and read messages? And so he's like, oh, I'm not insecure. I read the messages. Da, da, da. I said, but why would you do that? I used your phone. I trusted you. I used your phone to log into my Facebook. And instead of logging out, you took the opportunity to spy on me. Like, who does that? I'm like, we were not dating. So why do you feel like why do you feel like that's okay to do that to somebody? You know? And he didn't feel no ways about it. He's like, oh, well, da 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 da. And I did tell the next dude, you know, I was like, he's ugly, this and that, which is kind of messed up. He saw the message, whatever. But it's like, you still should have came to me. Like, why would you just read the message and just... And he admitted that he didn't just read that message. He was reading messages for a year. He read all the messages. For all I know, he could still be reading my messages. I mean, no, I did change the password and the thing over the years. But yeah, so I don't want to be with somebody like that. Like, that was a complete turn off to me when he finally came clean. Like, if he would have never told me, I would have never known that this man was looking at my messages. Like, what? So, and I was thinking, like, I don't know what else he was looking into, you know. So, Jelani, like I said, he was a good friend. Whenever I needed him, he was there. He helped me move the couch in my parents' home. He helped me move to my second apartment. And he did not know what he was doing. And I forgave him for it. And after that, 2015, where I reside now, moving into my second apartment, he cuts me off. So for years, I don't know why. And so the pandemic happens, I decided to reach out. I wanted to know why he cut me off. I wasn't necessarily trying to rekindle a friendship with him, because I just, at that point, I felt like he was weird. The very first time he cut me off was 2010, because he was afraid of my son's father. He refuses to admit that he is, but I know it was out of fear. So it was an incident where my son's father asked him, my son was there, so he came to pick up my son, and he lied saying that he needed help with the car seat. And I told Jelani, I said, he's good by himself. He don't need no help with no car seat. Look at him. You know, he not no weak nigga. So he fell for it, and he goes downstairs, and my father is leaving to go out. And my father said he overheard them talking a little bit, and my son's father asked him, oh, what are y'all doing for Valentine's Day? Just jealous. I'm not, at this point, not with my son's father, no dealings, whatever, but he was jealous at the fact that there was another guy in the house. He knows that that was my friend, and he recognized him from the christening, because he was his godfather. So what a coincidence, after that little incident, I don't hear from him for a year. And I'm like, you scared of my son's father? Like, why would you stop talking to me for a year? Like, literally for a year. And it took me reaching out to him, like, what's going on? First red flag, anytime somebody cuts you off for any reason, do not reach out to them. So that was my fault, because once he cut me off for that, I don't need to be around. If you're scared of my son's father, like, I can't fuck with you. Like, that's ridiculous to me. Like, you're a man at the end of the day. He is intimidating, but come on now. It's like, that's ridiculous. But, yeah. So he never admitted that he was scared. I'm like, so why you didn't talk to me, right? The second time he cut me off, it was over a girl. So basically, he confided in me, and he told me how the girl did not want to have sex with him. He said how he had sex with her 3 times, and she said, oh, we having sex too much, let's slow it down. I asked him what was the relationship like. He said how she's in school, she says that she's busy, and so forth. I said, Jelani, she's not satisfied by you, and 9 times out of 10, she might be cheating on you. He cursed me out via message. He's like, if you was a dude, I would beat you up, saying all this stuff. I said, you ain't gonna do shit because you scared of my son falling. Now, if you want to go down that road, yeah, I could I could arrange that for you. But he knew he was just talking slack. Like, he was just, I was like, you talking all that mess to me. Why don't you say that to my son's father? You got all that energy, like, oh, if you was a dude, I would have fought you. How dare you say that? Why are you upset at me? I'm giving you my opinion, right? I'm telling you how females are. He's like, all females are not like you. I said, I didn't say all females was like me. But the fact that she would give you a bullshit story of y'all having too much sex, y'all are in y'all 20s. Y'all are not in y'all 50s. Like, what is she talking about? I'm like, is she Muslim? Is she Christian? Is she celibate? She's none of that. Okay, so she's lying to you. Like, obviously, it's one of two things. Either she's not satisfied by you, or something else is going on with her. There's another guy. It's something. You cannot, because this girl, does she have children? No. Is she working? No. She's in school. She's a freshman. You've been a freshman before. Your first semester is lightweight. Unless if she got remedials and everything, writing, reading, and math, I can't see how her first semester of college is so overwhelming that she can't come and spend time with you. Come on now. You got to be smarter than that. So he stopped talking to me for a year over that. And of course they didn't last. They broke up shortly after that. But I'm like, that's sad that a childhood friend such as me, you's giving me up for some chick that was a 2-month chick. Like, really? So we got cool again. I'm like, whatever, I forgive you again. Strike two, because he cut me off and I went to him again. And I think I kept going back to him because I felt bad, about how I treated him in junior high school. I felt bad, so I felt like I owed him my friendship. And it's stupid and it doesn't make sense, but that was my reasoning. I said, well, if I give him my friendship, that's the debt that I owed him to, because I did feel bad about certain things. I did feel bad about the messages that he saw. I did feel bad about how I treated him in junior high school. I did feel bad about him going all out for me, and I didn't feel the same way. I felt very bad. So I felt like, well, if I'm his friend, that will just heal all wounds, and I was wrong. So the third time he cuts me off, once again, I'm reaching out to him. And so he tells me that he lied about having erectile dysfunction. Who the hell in their right mind lies about that? So at that point, I'm like, you know what, Jelani, I don't want to talk to you no more, this, that, and the third. He calls me now, and he's like, I've been in therapy, and I'm changing, and this and that. So I said, okay, cool. We are cool for literally a year. And I knew that things between us was weird because little things he would take offense. Like, one time we was talking, and I was like, oh, I didn't know you like rap music. And I could tell in his voice, he took it offensively. And I'm like, I didn't know you, it's not a big deal. I don't listen to rap music. The only time I listen to, it's very rare I listen to rap music. And if I do, it's like Biggie Smalls or Rick Ross or something like that. I'm not really, when you look on my playlist, it's R&B. Straight up. Of course, I listen to more rap than I do gospel. I don't really listen to gospel nowadays. Like, recently I started listening to gospel, but there's not a lot of gospel artists nowadays. Like, gospel is almost like nobody's really making new music besides Tamala Man. So gospel's not the same anymore. But I'm not really into rap music like that. I'll go to a little Kim concert, and that's about it. I'm not really into rap either. But he was offended. So fast forward to Halloween 2022. We're debating, we're having a discussion about PB and Rock, who passed away. Excuse me. And he talks about, well, he should have had security. I said, Jelani, how do you know he could afford security? Most rappers are broke. If they don't have endorsements or continue to rap, They don't have money. They make their millions and they go back to being a normal person if they don't continue their craft. It should be common sense, but whatever. And so he's like, oh, that's tempting the robber and this and that. I said, well, people get robbed every day and they're not necessarily flashy. So you can't say that, and I'm a type of person, like, we all have an opinion and none of us are perfect. But you gotta know what you're talking about when you're talking to me, because I'm gonna correct you. And he took it wrong as passive aggressive. He sends me a text message the next morning, November 1st, and he's like sending me a long message of I need therapy because I'm passive aggressive and I'm cynical and all of this stuff. And I'm like, thank you. That's all I could say is thank you, because I said my problem is I'm always running back to you. I'm begging for a friendship. So thank you, because you're the one who wanted to continue a friendship after the whole I said you're the one who has the issue because you lied about having erectile dysfunction. And you lie about other things. You're a compulsive liar. So if anybody needs therapy, it's you. What has therapy done for you? Nothing, obviously. So I said that to say this. People have issues that have nothing to do with you. They'll say things to you, and then that was so messed up for him to say that in a message, because I said if you was a true friend and you really felt like I needed therapy, you would have told me like I told you, because he went through a situation with his parents where his mom had cheated and left his father for a woman. So that devastated him. He'll never admit it, but I know that messed him up, because that's when he started lying. That's when he started, it was a different Jelani. So, and his brother started skipping school. I said, you don't think it's affected him? He's like, oh, that was 2 years ago. This is years ago, but I remember him saying. And I said, well, he's still young, and it's not even her moving on. It's the way she did it was devastating. I said, well, maybe y'all should all go to therapy. So then so many years later, he's telling me, oh, whatever. I'm like, huh? Because I don't agree with you? No, it's deeper than that. He just wanted a reason to stop talking to me. So just like he said before, it was a built up. He told me in 2015, I was like, so why did you cut me off? Because you're the one who messed up my son's bed frame. You're the one who, and whatever. And I was upset about that, because you acted like you knew what you was doing and you didn't. And then when my father asked you where's the corkscrew, it's like you had no answer. Because most people in my shoes, they wouldn't talk to you, because it's like you messed up their child's bed frame. Like I couldn't, I sat down and I fell, and my son could have injured himself. That's something serious, that's like, come on now. But he's like, he don't remember that. He don't remember none of that. How convenient, right? So he said that he cut me off because it was a built up of things like, oh, one time he asked me, oh, where's my son? And I said, he's in Jersey. He's like, oh, that sucks. And I said, how does that suck? He remembers that text message conversation, and he took it to heart. I said, how petty is that? You stop talking to me because of that? He's like, oh, it was a built up. It was a built up. I'm like, oh my God. But he had issues that had nothing to do with me when I really think about it. Because, yeah, it was kind of wrong for me to whatever and whatever. But, I let him know that I wasn't interested, and we went to platonic. Like I didn't just keep leading him on. I never used him for money or none of that. So I've learned to not beat myself up anymore, because I used to beat myself up a lot when it came to him. And to all my ladies, You know, it's okay to forgive yourself. You know, you think because, oh, you know, whatever. No. And if you don't want to be with somebody, it's normally a good reason. We have good instincts. We have, you know, I don't want to date somebody who can't communicate. I don't want to date somebody that, you know, something's wrong with them and they don't want to talk and they shut down. And like, who wants to go through that? You know, I went through that with him in a friendship. Imagine how he is dating wise. Like, what the hell? Like, I got to figure out what's wrong with you. That's annoying. You don't want to open up your mouth and talk, then no. You don't want to have an adult conversation, then that's not going to work for me. That's number one, you know, very important to me. You have to be an adult and you have to express yourself. You know, that's very important to me. But yes, that is the conclusion of Fake Friends. Yes.